All right, I know you all are excited because Michael Bloomberg has officially thrown his hat in the ring. What does that mean for the Democratic primary?
Team Rising is here to share all their thoughts with us. Maximilian Alvarez, he's a writer and host of the Working People podcast. And Holly Turner is a Republican strategist, previously worked for the U.S. Small Business Administration. Two great friends of the show. It's good to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Joan.
Okay, so Michael Bloomberg.
And by the way, we did not coordinate our
we did not coordinate. But,
just happened.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're that good.
I indulge the conspiracy theorists online who think we do. So, all right. So Michael Bloomberg is officially in the race with the most anodyne ad in the history of the world. He's giving Pete Buttigieg a run for his money. Let's take a listen.
But now he sees a different kind of menace coming from Washington. So there's no stopping here, because there's an America waiting to be rebuilt, where everyone without health insurance is guaranteed to get it, and everyone who likes theirs can go ahead and keep it, where the wealthy will pay more in taxes and the struggling middle class will get their fair share. And jobs that just allow you to get by will become jobs that let you get ahead. Mike Bloomberg for president. Jobs creator, leader, problem solver. It's going to take all three to build back a country.
So, Max, you're switching your vote from Bernie to Mike. I think the Sanders revolution is going to just split apart with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got us. I can't resist, Bloomberg's poll. I mean, I'm getting so exhausted watching these super wealthy people who could, do way more for working people aside from running these vanity campaigns. They could just cut us a check, right? I mean, they could just redistribute their wealth. So I mean, and I'm serious about that. This guy's worth $54 billion. He's not going to win. I mean, this is a pure vanity thing. And if he really wants to help working people, then he should just sit down, cut us a check, and shut up. I mean, that's my opinion.
But he doesn't really want to help working people. I mean, that's not what this project is about. If he wanted to help working people, he would donate to Bernie Sanders or at least Elizabeth Warren. But no, I mean, there's a terror, an existential terror gripping the Democratic donor class elite that a progressive might actually win the nomination. And so I don't think they've even contemplated that Bernie could be the nominee. That'll just blow their mind. But the fact that even Elizabeth Warren, who may not totally toe the neoliberal line on every single thing, could potentially win the nomination is just completely freaked them out.
Yeah, they are. And you see this in the DNC fundraising numbers too. Right. So, we saw this week, last week they released their numbers. They've got $7,000 or $7 million in debt, but only $8 million cash on hand. So they've got $1 million to play with compared to the RNC that's got $65 million. So there's a lot of fear, and I think that's dominating fundraising. It's causing these openings for candidates to think that they can jump in because there's so much chaos.
It's a donor opening, though, right?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Ultimately, if you look at the poll, Max, we've looked on the show, people are overwhelmingly satisfied with the amount of candidates they have in the race. Republicans are very satisfied with Donald Trump. Democratic voters are very satisfied with the field that they've got. And yet, who does the media choose to elevate? Deval Patrick, Mike Bloomberg, two of them. I don't remember who's still running on the Republican side, but these guys who are elevated on CNN and MSNBC. I mean, it broadly shows, Max, an elite freakout over the choice could be between Donald Trump and a Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. I mean, they can't handle that. They really can't.
They really can't. And I mean, I think that they take advantage of how quickly the news cycle moves, and they know that we're going to forget most of these underhanded tactics that they're pulling every time they try to throw, a new candidate at the wall and see if it sticks. After the debate last week, Chris Matthews and others were talking about Klobuchar, some contenders. She's not. You're trying to make fetch happen, and it's not. And I think honestly, Bloomberg's strategy, which I think is very transparent here, is a perfect embodiment of why he should not run. Right? Because he clearly was waiting for the primary candidates to duke it out for a bit, and then to kind of swoop in, this benevolent billionaire, the most lame Batman figure ever, who wanted to come in and offer a sensible alternative. And his ace in the hole was money. Right? His plan was to just dump a bunch of money, more than any of us will see in 20 lifetimes, into this crappy commercial, and he thinks that that's going to
But
be.
the irony is,
37 million
that-
on this one.
Yeah.
Promised to spend 150 million at least total.
Right.
And I loved this one. He's like, I pledge to not take any campaign donations. Like, don't worry, dude. None of us were signing up to send you any checks anyway.
Well, I just think it's ironic that he's getting in to hopefully have like more of this moderate. Hopefully, the nominee will be a moderate, but what he's possibly doing is just giving Bernie or Elizabeth, it's the best thing that could happen for them, because if he really cared about this moderate position, he would write a check to Pete or to Biden. But
I mean, Pete Buttigieg is, if Bloomberg actually does, I don't actually think he's going to catch on. I really don't. I mean, blanketing this thing, you're going to sit around 2 to 3% or whatever in these polls, and you're going to set a bunch of money on fire. That being said, it's possible, and even if he does cut in, he's going to hurt the candidates who would be good for him.
Right.
Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden. These are the people he should be spending his time trying to elevate through his campaign giving and all this other stuff. And it's so funny, Max. He says he's not going to take campaign donations. He's taken enough donations through his business for a lifetime. I mean, this guy, his own index fund is he's allowing Bloomberg and other investors to invest in Chinese companies. I mean, the man has gone on firing line with Margaret Hoover to defend Xi Jinping for saying that he's not a dictator. He is totally in the pockets and is a pocket distributor himself of Wall Street and the globalist class. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hate to kind of sound like the shameless socialist here, but I just fundamentally.
That's your job. That's
right. That's my job. I mean,
yeah.
but I don't trust anyone who has $54 billion, right? I mean, by and large, and his record is trash. I mean, I don't see, what kind of appeal he thinks he has in this political moment. But I think that, it's really kind of the product of a establishment freakout, and they're hoping that again they can just throw money at the problem, and that will solve it.
Well, and we should say the money isn't nothing, because look, we had Chuck Roach on pointing out that Pete has outspent people in Iowa 10-1, and so it's no surprise that he is doing well in the polls. I think if there's one candidate that this entry hurts the most, it is definitely Pete, who's going to lose a lot of his media attention, a lot of his, I think, supporters. There's some overlap there, and I agree with you. Look, Michael Bloomberg is not going to be the nominee, but that doesn't mean he can't affect the race.
That's right.
To me, when I look at who the likely Michael Bloomberg voter is, I think he could definitely pull from Pete. I think he could potentially pull from Warren even, and definitely pull from Biden. The one candidate where not one single voter is going to move over is from Sanders to Michael Bloomberg.
That's right.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, Holly. I mean, and you pointed this out, is that ad it looks like it was shot on an iPhone. It actually wasn't even particularly good. I mean, and what does that actually tell you? It's about the anodyne-ness of the message. It's the fact that it is so empty. I mean, calling yourself a job creator, a leader, and a problem solver. Mitt Romney tried this in 2012. Threw all the money in the world at the problem. It didn't work.
Deval Patrick, same deal. I mean, it sounds like
no
him. It sounds like Pete. It's like nothing that no one, everybody is saying this stuff, and there's a reason why voters don't respond to it.
Yeah.
All right, stick with us. More after the break.